It started with a simple question, one that I wasn't prepared for. Can we talk? Her voice shook as she said it. I remember the way her hands fidgeted, her eyes avoiding mine. She had always been confident, always certain. But in that moment, I saw something different, a fear I hadn't known existed in her. I should have known something was wrong. The way she'd been acting distant, cold, always busy, always too tired. But I never thought it would come to this. Never thought it would break like this. I've been seeing someone else, she said, her voice barely a whisper. It's not a mistake. It's been happening for months. I didn't yell. I didn't demand answers. Because in that moment, I realized something. I didn't need them. The truth was there in her eyes. The betrayal had already torn everything apart. There was nothing left to say. Instead of fighting, instead of pleading with her, I stood up. I grabbed my jacket, my keys, and walked out. I left everything behind. Our home, our memories, the life we'd built together. I left without a second glance. I didn't look back, not once. Not when I heard her cry out my name. Not when I saw her standing there, lost and broken. I just walked away. The days that followed were a blur. Anger, pain, confusion. All of it mixed together like a storm that wouldn't stop. But after a while, the storm settled and I started to rebuild. I moved to a new city, a fresh start, a new job, a life without her. I threw myself into work, into anything that could keep my mind off what had happened. But the truth was, I was running from the pain, running from her. I thought about her sometimes, but only in the way you think about something that's long gone, something you've already lost. I was sure she was just another chapter in my past, one I'd never need to revisit. But then she found me. It was a simple message, one that I didn't expect. A number I didn't recognize, but I knew who it was. I'd erase her number, but some things you don't forget. We need to talk. I stared at the screen, my chest tightening. My mind screamed at me to ignore it, to block her, to keep moving forward with my new life. But there was something about it, something that pulled me in. So I replied with just one word. Why? A few minutes later, my phone buzzed again. I just need to see you. Please. I could have ignored it, could have walked away without another thought. But a part of me wanted to see the regret on her face. A part of me wanted to hear the words she'd never said before. So, against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her. The cafe was quiet when I walked in. I spotted her immediately, sitting at a small table in the back, her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee. But she hadn't touched it. She looked different. Not the confident, carefree woman I had known. Now she looked exhausted, her eyes hollow, dark circles beneath them, her shoulders slumped. She looked like someone who had spent the last year living with regret. When she saw me, her lips parted slightly, like she would find the right words. I sat down across from her, waiting. Her eyes searched mine, filled with a mix of hope and fear. I've thought about you every single day, she said, her voice shaking. I leaned back in my chair, arms crossed. Really? Because when I walked out that door, I didn't think you gave me a second thought. She shook her head quickly, tears welling in her eyes. I made a mistake, she whispered. I thought I wanted something else. I don't even know what I was thinking. But when you left, I realized I'd thrown away the best thing in my life. She reached across the table, her fingers trembling. Please, she whispered, just tell me there's a chance. For the first time in a long time, I smiled, but it wasn't a smile of hope. It wasn't a smile of forgiveness. It was a smile of understanding. She was drowning in the regret she had created. She wanted me to fix it, to fix her mistake, but there was nothing left to fix. I let her sit there, waiting, hoping for me to say something that would undo the past. But I had nothing left to give her. I leaned forward, resting my hands on the table. You wanted freedom, I said calmly. You got it. Her breath hitched. She knew what was coming. I know, she whispered, tears slipping down her face. But I didn't know what I was losing. I exhaled slowly, shaking my head. That's the problem, I said. You only realized my worth when I was gone. And now it's too late. Her face crumbled. She opened her mouth to speak, to beg, to plead, to fight for me, but I was already standing up. I pulled out some cash, tossed it on the table, and met her gaze one last time. "Take care of yourself," I said simply. And then, just like I did a year ago, I walked away. This time, though, she was the one left behind.